Mark, it doesn't feel like that long ago. You and I were talking at the end of last season. Have you managed to actually have a good summer break yourself?
Not particularly, no. No, I've had some time away in that, but I think because it was a protracted sort of takeover, it took quite a long time. We didn't know really what we were doing until the middle of June, so it put us behind quite a long way, and it was always going to be kind of a late setup in terms of recruitment and where we'd be, but yeah, we're there now, and yeah, it's been a long summer.
You mentioned the fact that you've had that delay. You've picked up the ball now and ran with it because you've now got the 7 signings through the door. In terms of the positions you wanted to fill, how close are you to getting to where you wanted to be?
Well, I think we spoke a lot about did we score enough goals or create enough chances last year compared to the year before? Probably not. So we've tried to address that, and we've tried to stack the forward area and wide area with players that we think, with the money that we've got available, it gives us the best sort of chance to create and score more goals.
Well, let's start by talking about your newest recruit in terms of Junior, because a few people may remember him, may have seen him over the last couple of years performing, but why did you decide to sign him?
I just think we needed somebody that had a decent goal scoring record in the National League. It became available a couple of weeks ago, and he's had some issues with his wife being pregnant and what have you, so he didn't join us until this week. But he's got a history of, like I say, of scoring goals at the level, and hopefully we can get him fit and get him those chances. I'm sure he'll take plenty of them.
And another big name that came through the door, obviously, was the changing goalkeepers. Why was that decision made to move away from Aidan and move into, basically a new on-loan goalkeeper?
Yeah, we just, Aidan was a good professional, and he's been a good goalkeeper, but we just felt that we needed a fresh outlook on that. We needed somebody that was going to make some saves, hopefully, and yeah, we had a chance to get Jed, and once we knew there was a chance, then for me we had to go and do it.
How impressed have you been by him so far in pre-season?
Yeah, I mean, pre-season's pre-season, isn't it? It can do as well as you want in pre-season. It means nothing, but I've just seen a general calmness to his play and his demeanour. I think that's important for a goalkeeper. So, listen, we'll see how he goes at the start of the season. But yeah, I've been impressed.
And a name that a few Yeovil fans chatted to me about the other day that they got quite excited by and like what they've seen so far is Byron. What have you made of him so far, and how special a talent could he be?
Well, when I spoke to the fans after the takeover, we tried to be pretty consistent and say that our recruitment was going to be late. We wanted to use the money that we had available for as much quality as we could, and we wanted to try and bulk the squad out with 2 or 3 loans, and we had our eye on Byron. Probably weren't convinced we would get him. And then I have a decent relationship with Birmingham, and they said, look, there's a chance you can get him, have a look at him in one of the games, and he came down, played really well, and we signed him as quick as we could on a season-long loan. He's got terrific pace. He's very, very good going forward. And listen, he's a young lad. He's going to make some mistakes, but we're just going to encourage him to get forward and get balls in the box, which is his forte.
You had the open training session on Monday. One of the players who was out on the field, which couldn't help but notice he was wearing a big cast for his arm, was Morgan Williams. He got injured in the Western game. How's this week been for him? Is he available for this weekend?
Yeah, well, it was a really dangerous area, a metal fence really close to the touchline where the main stand was. I think 3 players collided with that on the day, and Morgs collided with it and had a fracture on the top of his hand, but yeah, he's had a soft cast put on, so he'll be good to go, good to play. He's desperate to play. He won't let a small break in his hand stop him playing. He's a warrior, so he'll want to be out there, and we need him out there.
2 names that weren't able to take part in training on Monday were Charlie Cooper and Alex Whittle. How are they both doing? Do you think they'll be available for this weekend?
Yeah, that was just precautionary. They both got knocks at Western and came off just to to make sure we didn't make them worse. But they'll both be out there training today, so yeah, that gives us a bit more depth.
Is this a rare occasion where you and I are talking where you've got more or less a fully fit squad?
Yeah, it's a small squad, which is what we were after. We wanted a squad full of as much quality as we could get. I still think we're a couple short, but for now we'll go with what we got. And yeah, listen, you never know pre-season where you are, dear, until you get punched on the nose in the first round. You never really know where you are. So all the right intentions are there. We've worked hard. Yeah, and we're going to try and put a show on at home against a really tough opposition.
I was going to touch on Hartlepool now. You said don't base too much on pre-season, which you'd obviously throw yourselves into that mix. They haven't had the best of pre-seasons, obviously losing to South Shields last time out. What have you made of what you've been able to see so far? Because they've got 11 new signings through the door. They're going to be a very different side to the one that you faced last season.
Yeah, I wouldn't base too much emphasis on the South Shields game. They played a different formation. They rested some players. They've got a really experienced, terrific manager for the level, Simon Grayson. He's had real success as a manager, so he knows what he's doing, and they will be a really tough, uncompromising team, full of good, experienced players who know what they're doing. So it's going to be a really tough game. We're expecting nothing else, and we need the fans behind us. We need them to make it a difficult atmosphere for the opposition, and hopefully they can get behind us from the first minute and cheer us on all the way, because it makes hell of a difference at Ewich Park.
And you touched upon at the start of this interview how protracted takeovers can impact on what you do in a summer and how things go. Hartlepool obviously have that at the moment happening behind the scenes there. Do you have a certain amount of sympathy for Simon himself and also the fans at Hartlepool?
Yeah, I think a lot of clubs are in that position. Obviously, you look from a distance, and I think Jeff Stelling's going to be sat with me in the dugout on Saturday. So yeah, no, listen, it's a lot of clubs are in that position, and it just seems crazy that there's so much stuff going on. But listen, we look as though we're settled for now, and let's hope there's a period of calmness and stability with our ownership, and hopefully after Saturday, Hartlepool will have that as well.
And you mentioned it a moment ago, but Ewich Park, turning that back into the fortress that it was the season before last and getting that really good home form through the season is key to pushing up the table, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the supporters underestimate how much of a part they have to play in this project. They're such a big part, because if they are at it, it gives the players such a lift, because it's a really tough place to play if the fans are going for it. If they're not, and there's a lot of apathy about it, it becomes a lot easier for the opposition to play their stuff and make it difficult for us. You know, and like I say most times, whatever their feelings are during the game, get behind the players, and then if they're not happy afterwards, then they've got every right to boo and call us whatever they want.
And I know you hadn't made a decision on Monday, but it's now coming up to match day. Any idea on the captain for the season, or is that still up in the air? No,
Jake Wannell's been the captain. He's had a tough time during pre-season with some family issues, but hopefully he's in a good place at the moment, and he will lead the team tomorrow.
Saturday.
Well,
good luck for Saturday.
Thank you.